I first learnt about the threats posed by climate change when I was at school a quarter of a century ago. Now, because successive governments and corporations around the world have failed to act, it is an emergency. The United Nations tells us that climate crisis disasters are happening at the rate of 1 per week. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report warns that if the planet warms by just 1.5 degrees, there will be devastating consequences, the loss of most coral reefs, extreme weather, heat waves and floods. At 2 degrees of warming, the consequences will be catastrophic. Cyclones in Mozambique and droughts affecting India are causing death, displacement and suffering. Recent forest fires in the US and heat waves in Europe show the extent to which many countries already face huge challenges. On our current course, we are heading for 3 to 4 degrees of warming. The loss of polar ice will mean most places on the planet will be as hot as the equator. Places like Karachi and Calcutta will become almost uninhabitable, and heat waves will cause mass drought, famine and mass migration. If most of the damage is being done by big corporations and governments in faraway countries such as the United States and China, what can this Council do about it? We can show leadership, we can change the way we and our partner organisations consume natural resources, and we can set a goal to cut our carbon emissions to net zero by 2030. We can create a citizens' assembly and a working group that will work together to create an action plan that will turn these words into meaningful, sustainable change. This motion will affect every aspect of the Council's activities, from long-term strategic planning to minor procurement decisions. We can adopt best practices from cities that are ahead of us on this, and our own best practices will provide leadership for other councils to follow. Peterborough City Council can promote energy efficiency in our local transport by promoting walking, cycling and car sharing. We can consider car exclusion zones or access charges and promote the use of electric cars by providing charging points. We can invest in green infrastructure, improve public transport integration and consider how transport contracts can be used to promote greener travel. We can help deliver on the government pledge to halve energy use from new build houses by 2030, with all new homes heated by fossil-free systems by 2025. We can support preferential business rates for local firms who meet targets on reducing their carbon output, create local enterprise partnerships to set up low-carbon enterprise areas. There are many possibilities, and it's not too late if we start working on this now, but we must start working on this together as a unified city with a common goal of reducing carbon emissions immediately. I offer my full support in seconding this motion.
Thank you, Councillor.